Welcome to Hot Flash Chronicles, where midlife is messy, menopause is madness, and we're sweating through it together.
We're Angie and Shelley, two caffeine-fueled, slightly inappropriate grandmas who say what everyone's thinking.
So grab a drink, crank up the AC, and let's dive in.
Angie! Shelley!
Guess what time it is?
It's time for another riveting episode of Hot Flash Chronicles podcast.
Correct.
I'm Angie.
I'm Shelley.
And we are here today. Shelley, what are we talking about today?
Well, I would always normally say it's going to be really fun and blah, blah, blah. And you'd make fun of me for that.
And I'd say, it's near and dear to our hearts, because you always say that.
I do.
Which is fine.
But this time I'm going to say that maybe it's not.
This is a tougher subject. This is a tougher subject. Yeah.
It's more real life. It is about stress.
And we're talking about this because we've got some stressful things going on. Not bad stress, just it's taking up a lot of mental bandwidth. So
Yes.
Shelley and her husband, Phil, have moved in with Jeff and I. I know that we did a teaser that they were going to be. We are now moved in. You've been living with us for a week and a half-ish.
Yeah, right around that ish.
And there's a lot of logistics.
There is.
We're having a lot of logistics chat. We're having a lot of how does this work? We're figuring out each other's personalities, things that are priorities, things that are potentially triggers, things that are stressful.
Yes.
So today we reorganized the studio so that Shelley's desk could be here as well. We reset up the podcast table. We have a new beautiful table that came from Shelley's home. We have some plants. We have this new table. This is our thumbs up. So like us, subscribe, follow us, whatever you do. In that, it's required a lot of, because you were living about 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
And your house went on the market yesterday. So there's been a lot of logistics. And
so much stuff has happened in the last week. So when you're in boxes, out of boxes, moving boxes, this stuff has to go here. This stuff has to go there. We have this vehicle to do that. It's a lot of coordination. And Angie and her husband, Jeff, have been helping out any way they can, which is amazing.
Right.
But it is just, it's a lot if you've ever moved or moved out of a house, you know that in the lifespan of things, they'll tell you there's certain events that are like
more stressful than others,
like
kind of thing.
Getting a divorce, death in the family, moving, like those are
Moving's a
ones.
big one.
And it's like you have to do it for days on end. So it's like stress after stress after stress.
There are 2 storage units. There have been 2 U-Haul rentals. My husband has a truck. Today, not knowing that he was signing up for this, my husband has been tasked with, because he's the brawn. He's the super strong one. So, and he has the truck. So there was a lot of stuff here at the studio that needed to go to donation. And also they set up the pool because it's supposed to be in the 90s tomorrow. So we have a pool in our backyard. It's been a lot. And we all operate differently. Shelley and I are extroverts and we like to talk things through. Our husbands are introverts. Phil, I'm learning, is super detail oriented and wants to know the minutia of every single thing. Whereas Jeff is more, let's just get it done and move to the next thing. So Jeff is more, what are we doing next? What's going on? And Phil's like, wait. We have to plan it out. And I think
this is my face.
It's making us flinch a little bit and it's making Jeff flinch a little bit. So we're figuring it out.
So Phil is British Sheldon Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He is a lovely guy.
Of course. You wouldn't have married him if he wasn't lovely.
About personality,
right?
And loveliness.
There's no judgment. It's just we operate on different.
Yeah, everybody has a different process for how they like to organize and take actions.
Mm-hmm.
So something Phil and I have learned in 10 years of being married is we have wildly different approaches.
Accurate.
And I tend to be more like Jeff in the sense of I just want to get it done. I've already kind of thought about it. I think you could just do 3 steps to get there.
Right.
And Phil has 20 steps. And some of them are steps.
Phil is meticulous and Jeff is like, let's just get shit done.
Yeah.
Right. Jeff is also, he's a software tester, so he's good at being methodical. But when it comes to tasks, he wants to just let's get this done so we can do the fun thing.
I agree to this.
Yeah. So how are we handling stress? Shelly and I have decided that going live on TikTok is the way that makes us laugh the most. So we're doing that, which is also a little bit of a stressor to the husbands.
They're introverts and they're afraid.
My husband said, I think his words were, I don't want my life on camera. And that's fair. You don't have to be on camera. But he was like, I just want to come downstairs and eat my dinner in peace. I don't want to worry about you guys are talking about stuff. So we're probably going to do most of our TikTok lives here.
Yes.
Which is fine because I have the hiccups all of a sudden. We only live 9 minutes from the studio. So it's easy to pop over here and do this.
Yeah. So we are doing social stuff, social media stuff to promote the podcast. And if you are enjoying the twice a week podcast, which we hope you are, these are very focused discussions-ish.
Focused-ish.
And they're about 25 minutes long. When we do, if you're liking us here, you might want to follow us on our socials. We're on Facebook. We're not as active right now on Facebook and Instagram.
We're not as active on those. Yeah.
We're more on TikTok right now because we are trying to find people like you.
Right.
We're trying to find people in their 30s, 40s, 50s who are kind of going through different parts of their life, dealing with things maybe differently now than they used to when they were in their 20s.
Right.
So we're trying to find our group of people.
And there is somebody on TikTok named Just Being Melanie with no E on the end. And she started a few weeks ago something called the We Do Not Care Club. And it's for women in menopause or perimenopause that are just like, here's all of the stuff we no longer care about. So
it started out kind of as a funny kind
it
of
has
thing,
become a
but
movement. It's being called the menopausal mafia, and I don't hate it.
I don't hate
it. So it's just you daily, you say like, here's what I don't care about today. I don't care that my laundry isn't folded. I don't care that I'm not wearing any makeup. I do not care that the dogs are walking on the furniture.
Yeah. Just almost like affirmations of saying, these are things I no longer need to stress about, need to be worried about. It's just much more about accepting where you're at and not apologizing anymore.
Yeah.
Just like, here's who I am.
So shout out to Just Being Melanie for creating the We Do Not Care Club. We are the Pacific Northwest chapter, a part of it.
Yeah.
We just deemed ourselves that. I don't know if there's an official process to be a chapter, but we just decided. It seemed like there was no process.
It's literally grown to over 1 million followers in about 3 to 4 weeks or something.
I think she started it May 16th or something.
Or 16th.
So it hasn't even been a month. Yeah.
So it's called the We Do Not Care Club, or the WDNC. If you want to meet other really cool, empowered, strong, positive women, it's a wonderful way to meet those kinds of people. And that's what we're trying to do.
Right. And Shelly and I decided a few days ago we wanted to start going live because it's just another way to be social on social media. I prefer the socialness of social media, which a lot of people forget about. A lot of people see it as a sales platform or like, you know, whatever.
Shopping,
I like the social part of it. I like meeting people. I like connecting. I like, oh my gosh, I feel that way too. I love to laugh at, do they call them reels on TikTok?
I don't know.
Okay. The videos, the short form videos.
The shorts, the videos.
I love those. And since we've been going live, we have 4 subscribers. So we're going to do a shout out for, and we just started the subscriptions
you guys
yesterday.
Yeah.
We have Ange in her 50s, and something. Kay's Boutique. We have Cartoon Man with a K, and we have Jennifer that joined this morning, Jen or Jennifer.
Yeah.
So shout out to you guys. Thank you for the subscriptions.
Yeah.
You're going to get insider content, like additional stuff. If you're on TikTok and you want to follow us, we are at Hot Flash Chronicles. That tracks.
Yeah.
So back to stress. I just wanted to do a little shout out to those people because I'm a shout out person. Yeah. I'm finding TikTok a way of networking. And since I love networking, it's a really nice way to.
You can make anything, like when there's always upsides and downsides to social media. You can get caught up in the weirdness and the trolling and
there are lots of trolls. What did the person say to you yesterday?
Oh, I think it was a backhanded compliment, maybe, or not. Maybe it was a troll, but it started out good. It started out with,
turn.
You look like Anne Hathaway. And then they said, old. Anne
Whatever.
Hathaway, old. Well, I am old enough to be her mom. I'm 18 years older, so I wasn't that offended.
It's whatever. So
doesn't she look like me? If I'm older, doesn't Anne Hathaway
obviously
look like me?
she should be so
And
lucky.
then they said that Angie looked like Kathy Bates. And first of all, we love Kathy Bates.
Yeah, that's not
She's
to love.
amazing. Rosie O'Donnell.
I got Rosie O'Donnell.
I'm like, good, rich, powerful, successful women. I'm glad.
We've also gotten really lovely compliments, but I keep saying, so I am ADHD, I'm on the spectrum, and I'm in menopause. So if you need to throw hate online, if you need a target, if you just need to like get on there and be really trolly and like try to make somebody feel icky, throw it at me because I can handle it. It's not going to land. I am very self-assured. I'm very comfortable in myself. There's nothing you're going to say that I haven't said to myself 100 times, and I'm over it. I love myself. I have a lot to offer a lot of people. So if you need to throw hate out, if that makes you feel better, first of all, it says more about you than it does about me.
For real.
And second of all, I can handle it. So if you need to get that out, send it to me because we don't want to send it to somebody who it could actually hurt. But then Shelly is like, don't talk to my best friend like this. So Shelly's getting like, fuck off. Don't come at me. Like, don't come at my bestie.
I have a different feeling. First of all,
which I also agree with her feeling.
I just think it's like, if you're going to put energy out in the world, why is that the energy that you want to toss at someone else? It does say something about you. It does say maybe you have some issues or problems that you're not dealing with. You're deflecting and you're pushing that negativity out, and you want to hurt other people because you hurt. I get it.
We are grandmothers. Okay. Yeah. We are mothers. We are wives. We are sisters. So I would just say to anybody who feels like trolling is their superpower, if you wouldn't say it to your grandmother or your mom or your sister or your partner,
probably shouldn't say
maybe don't say it online.
Maybe don't say it, but there's
and
a lack of
also maybe figure out why you're saying it. Like, who hurt you?
Yeah.
Like,
it's a moment for self-reflection. If you constantly troll and it gives you some kind of relief, that says something. It says you need to do some soul searching. So I have way different feelings about trolling, and I just block those people.
Yeah.
Like after, if they throw stuff
we do
at her,
we block them. We're pretty block heavy.
The need to troll, that's a stressor. It's a stressor for the person who trolls. It's a stressor for the person who receives it. And it's like, again, anxiety and stress come out in very different ways for people. And some people, the internet has given them a cloak of invisibility where they're really able to kind of go really hard with being things they would never do in real life to someone's face. Yeah. It's this cloak of what they feel is protection, and they want to get
keyboard warriors is what I call it.
Yeah, they want to get all this stuff out, and that is not healthy.
It says way more about you. Like,
not healthy.
If you want to talk about my weight, like, I know that I'm not skinny. I'm okay with it. I'm working on it, but not because of any societal norms. It's just that I want to be able to do more things. But if you look at me and you're like, oh, you're fat, you're overweight, that's accurate. But why do you care? And if you say it's because of my health, you don't know me enough to care about my health. And there are plenty of other things I could do that were unhealthy that you wouldn't give a shit about.
We could have hours-long conversations on people who have expressed concerns about your health, especially like it's this random coworker, it's somebody you don't know very well or aren't very good friends with, and they're like, I'm concerned about your health. No, you're not.
And it's even worse if it's somebody who's never met you and we're talking online. So if this resonates with you, go find Terry Hofford on Instagram. I don't know if she's on TikTok. TeriHofford. She is a body positivity. She does a body positivity boot camp. She is the one that retrained my brain for how to feel about my body and embrace the rolls and the curves and not be ashamed of them. Like, I'm really comfortable with my tum. Like, I love my tum now. It has served me well. So if you want to throw hate at it, then you need to dig a little bit into why that makes you feel better. And it's not going to hurt me.
And don't tell people you're concerned about your health. What you probably are is fat phobic. And that's a whole nother thing.
You got to figure out why.
And you need to figure out why people who are heavy bother you.
Yeah.
Why does that trigger you in some way? But it's not that you're concerned about their health. You don't, honestly, I have to say this, you don't give a shit about their health. That's not what it is. So dig deeper than that.
And if you're repulsed by it, then keep scrolling. And I might be repulsed by you.
You know what? just because you're invited to a party, you don't have to attend.
Yes.
If you're going through if you're on any social media and you go into somebody's room and you're like, ooh, oh God, I don't like this person, leave.
Scroll away low, scroll away low. Yeah, just keep scrolling.
We're
It's
again
fine.
talking about stress.
Oh, right.
Because these things like
Well, it
stress us
can be
out.
stressful to people.
Yeah.
It can be stressful to get hate comments come at you and trolling. And
when you've done nothing other than exist.
I remember Sue Bryce telling me at one point, like, you have to be careful what you ask for when it comes to being visible or being like a pillar in a community, because you will get, yes, you get a lot of love, but you get just as much hate. So you have to be okay with that. And I have worked on my self-value enough to be okay with it. So it's not going to land. It's okay. I'm not going to lose any sleep. I'm not going to cry over it. I'm not going to walk away and think maybe they're right. There was one guy that was, I can't remember what their username was, but their profile was Jason Momoa. And I was like, the only reason you haven't been blocked is because you have a Jason Momoa. And also, why are you hiding behind Jason Momoa's picture?
Yeah, what do you look like? Use your real face and your real name if you're going to troll people.
Yeah, it's
You know,
whatever.
if you
I
feel
really could
But you
give
know what?
two
He
shakes of
kinda
a fuck.
turned around. He
did. He actually turned into, like, he's been showing up to our lives and sending
he's
likes
been
and
being
stuff.
respectful.
Yeah.
So kudos to him for being able to sing a different tune.
Exactly.
People can change, and we have hope that they will, but it's just a moment of self-reflection. I get a lot of my stress out when I'm driving. I get a lot of, I would call it not necessarily road rage, but I yell at people in the other cars when they don't use their blinkers, or when they do
This
something,
is true.
when they're going too slow, when they don't turn a corner fast enough, because I can tell this is a place for me to get some of my negative energy out, where I can yell at people, but they won't hear me and I won't hurt their feelings.
I will have a private scream every once in a while just to get it out. Like, I have been known to be here in the studio and just scream. Done it in my car, just a scream fest. I actually did it a couple weeks ago, and I didn't realize my window was rolled down and I was next to somebody at a stoplight, and the lady looked wildly concerned. And I was like, I'm okay. Sorry. I didn't realize.
So here's some things where it's not acceptable to get your stress out. It's not acceptable to get your stress out online on bullying, like being a troll. That's not okay. Don't do it to retail salespeople. I used to work.
Be kind to your servers, be kind to your cashiers, be kind to your bartender.
Anybody who is in a service role. I would see this when I worked in retail at Christmas time. People are at their max, and they would unload on retail workers. And it is not okay to do that. Humans are not subservient to you. They are not your punching bags. You cannot do that. It is not okay. Don't do it.
So one of the things that my therapist discovered with me is that some of my panic attacks are sensory, what did she call it?
Overload?
No, it's like you have buildups in your system that you have to dump the bucket of tension panic attacks. That's the word. So she said she was able to tell, because one of the ones that I had right before I went in to see her was I was just laying in bed, scrolling Instagram, nothing that should have triggered me. And I'm laying there, and all of a sudden my heart rate goes to like 157. I'm full tilt boogie panic attack, nothing that could have made it happen. And she was like, okay, that gave me information that we can work with. Your body will build up tension, and we have to dump that bucket out, because otherwise, if it gets overflowed, you can have a panic attack, and your body will force you to do so. Some of us don't regulate it the same way. So ways that you can dump the bucket are dancing, laughing really hard, crying, screaming, sex, all of these things that can release some sort of energy.
Endorphins.
Yes. So she taught me a tool to like clench all of my muscles and scream like internally, like, and do that for a long time. And it will dump that bucket if I feel it starting to build up. So it was really good to know that some of my panic attacks are tension related. It's just that I'm not self-regulating on my own, and I need some help dumping that bucket. I need to recognize that my tension has built to a point that I'm about to have a full tilt boogie panic attack. Nobody wants that.
These meltdowns, like when you're having a meltdown, that's when the bucket's gotten too full, and one little straw breaks the camel's back and the floodgates open.
Yes.
I had something happen when my daughter was a teenager that she still remembers to this day. one of those moments where you accidentally scar someone.
Oopsie.
It was a day for me where I had a full-time job. I was commuting. Lots of things were happening, and probably 6 or 7 bad things had happened in a row. And I was at the stove, and I know this is dinner time at night. I'm at the stove.
Not like this is going,
I can see that there's some macaroni and cheese powder that is all around the burner. Like my daughter would make macaroni and cheese after school or whatever. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I flipped out. I was in major meltdown mode, and I called her in from the other room, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? And she's like, macaroni and cheese powder. It is macaroni and cheese powder. And I'm tired of it. I see it way too often.
Not your proudest moment.
No, I freaked out about macaroni and cheese powder for 10 minutes, and she was just sitting there.
Blink, blink, blink.
Not understanding why I was coming so
But to you, everything had come to a head.
Yeah.
That was the straw that broke the proverbial back.
Because I was wiping it up, and I was just done with whatever. But I wasn't good at letting stress out. I didn't have ways to do it. And so things like that would happen. And, to this day, if you say macaroni and cheese powder around my daughter, it's like
I'm definitely going to test that
stress moment for her. Like I created this really bad memory for someone that I love because I did not know how to handle that kind of stuff. And I'm better at it now, but understand finding ways to release the stress and release the tension are so important, and they're going to be different for all of us. Some of us, it might be putting on headphones, listening to music. It might be doing something physical, going for a walk, getting fresh air, taking the dogs out.
Sometimes I'll take a shower and just cry in the shower.
Yeah, crying actually.
It is a release, yeah.
Actually carry the stuff that you need.
Cortisol.
That you need to release.
So if you have a lot of stress building up, your body will release it as cortisol into your system. And I believe that Phil, her husband, said the only way to release cortisol out of your body is through tears.
Yeah,
or one of the ways. It's either only way.
That's why people will get physical and sweat. Like some people like to go hit a punching bag or something.
So after my major car accident, Shelly and Phil came over, and it was like 2 days later. And I was like, I cannot stop crying. It's like, I'm literally just sitting here and I can't stop. And he said, you had such a big cortisol dump. You have to get the cortisol out through your tears. And I was like, isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Yeah. So crying is not bad. Screaming is not bad. Singing. I really enjoy singing. Singing is a huge stress reliever for me. It's something I've done since I could talk. And when I look back over my life, I realize that has been something that I have maybe unconsciously identified as a stress reliever. I think it creates the endorphins and the stuff I need to actually calm me down. Eating food is a soothing exercise for people. It
creates dopamine the fastest, which is why a lot of ADHD people are overweight, because it's the fastest way to get a dopamine dump, and we don't have dopamine regulators.
Food is soothing. It actually calms your body down, and that's why we have people who overeat. And so it's like finding healthy ways to, and being aware of what those things are. If you notice that eating calms you down, I remember when I was little, my mom would give us food to chill us down. I remember one time I was crying. My aunt was babysitting us. My sister and I woke up, and we thought we saw that the car was gone. We thought we were alone in the house.
Oh my gosh. So you were terrified.
So we were terrified. Yeah. We were crying. I remember they had went out to Chinese food late. And I remember my mom just shoving chow mein in my face. I'm 4 years old crying. She's shoving food at me.
That's a choice.
It is, to get me to stop crying. And
Laura,
that's why I had issues with food. Because from a very early time, I started associating food with chilling down and calming and relieving stress. So believe me, it creates a different kind of stress down the road. But if you're aware consciously of what those things are that can help you, so much better for you, so much healthier to be in control of what your stress relievers are going to be.
I will tell you, I have not had a panic attack since you moved in, and I usually have at least one big one a week. And I think it's because I'm laughing so much. We're laughing so much.
Yeah.
And Shelly just amuses me to all ends. I keep saying I'm laughing my face off, and my mom's like, and yet I still recognize you, which cracks me up.
There is still some face.
Yeah. I laugh in my everyday life, but I have been guffawing like constantly living with this one because
I'm just a one-man entertainment center show.
Shelly and I have been friends for, I think, 15, 16 years. We're going to have to figure out what it was. And we've never had even a bit of a quibble.
Two Leos.
She's really easy for me to hang around. I don't have to filter myself, which is the best kind of friend that you can have. I have a few people in my life like that I don't have to filter. My daughter-in-law, AJ, also, like, AJ is a very safe place for me to land.
Find your safe place.
AJ and I are super close and like the best of friends. And it's really cool to be able to say that about your daughter-in-law.
It is. That's nice.
And she's also good at recognizing if I am, because she's an empath as well. She's good at recognizing if I'm overly stressed or I've been triggered. And she's good at de-escalating me really quickly.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, I think one of the reasons Angie and I get along so well is I think we've always been really open with how we feel about things.
Right.
And even when it's been things that maybe aren't super sunshiny and happy, or maybe when it's things that have been stressful in our lives, or even a situation we've both been in maybe that was stressful and how we handled or reacted to it. But being able to have open relationships where you can say, I was really upset when fill in the blank happened. Like that really spun me out.
And setting a boundary, like with love, like that made me uncomfortable, or I'm feeling kind of squidgy about that. But you haven't ever made me feel squidgy.
I think it's because I don't know that I'm necessarily
I can't remember
an empath, but I think and the reason probably I went into the line of work that I went into and I did the schooling I did, my degree's in psychology. So I think
same. I was going to become a counselor, but then I got pregnant and dropped out of school.
Yeah, I got my degree in that. And I think it's that I've always been an observer of people, even though I'm loud and talkative and I'm an introverted extrovert, which means I like to do it on my terms. Like this is on my terms. Being one-on-one with people is a little bit different, but I've always watched people and tried to figure them out. And so I think I'm good at telling when somebody they might be saying the words,
You're
fine,
very good at reading people.
but you can tell they're not fine.
My husband can be really hard to read and hard to, I don't want to say soothe, but hard to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Maybe just understand
hard to understand where he's coming from and then come up with a good solution. And Shelly is really good at that. Shelly understands Jeff in the best kind of way. He loves spending time with her as well. He feels that she's a safe place to land. He is very much himself around her, which makes me happy because
I always want to be around people's authentic selves. And we use that word a lot, authentic.
It's one of my favorite words.
Maybe it gets thrown around a lot, but it's that I like to see people warts and all because I want to be able to be me warts and all.
Usually buzzwords are buzzwords for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. So if authentic is a buzzword.
I don't want you to tell me you're fine if you're not. I want, if you're not, that's okay. We're not always fine. Living our lives pretending that we're always fine isn't helping anybody in this world. We're human. We have ups and downs. We have good days and bad days, and those are normal and okay. We live in a world of social media where things are curated and people try to tell you that their lives are perfect and beautiful.
You're seeing the highlights.
You're seeing the
Don't
highlight
compare your
reel.
everyday life to somebody else's highlight reel.
No, those people all have their downtime.
They don't have their poop in a group either.
They're
it's
just
fine.
advertising it. So
yeah,
the We Do Not Care Club, circling back to that, is trying to let go of those things and say, maybe I'm not fine and maybe that's okay. Because we all have our moments of stress. We all have our moments when we're in the car yelling that the person in front of us is a head. We all have those moments, and that is the human condition.
I wonder if I don't do it while I'm driving because of my accident and I don't want to have rage in the car.
I'm not.
Because I don't do that.
Not condoning doing it in the car. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying I'm wondering why I don't I don't like audibly get upset with people
I do it
driving.
because nobody else can hear me.
That's fair.
That's why I'm doing it in the car, is it's
That's
not
fair.
around anybody else. Usually I'm driving by myself.
Usually.
So it's just, but identify the people who are your people. And that's what we're trying to do on the podcast. That's what we're doing when we're out on TikTok. Find people who get you in all of your moods, your goods, your bads, your ups, your
And
downs.
ask them to hold space for you. Like Shelly and AJ are two people that I can say, I need for you to hold space for me because I'm having a rough minute. And they, like, either of them would be completely present for me in that moment. And vice versa. If Shelly was like, ooh, I'm about to kick a hole in the wall,
Yep.
everything's fine, it's not fine. Find those people that will hold space for you and not necessarily solve it, but just let you talk. Because sometimes venting is a really good way to release stress.
Also,
words are hard, y'all.
Be a person who can ask someone to hold space.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
there's no shame in saying, I'm having a hard day.
The reason I haven't held space for someone was maybe that day I wasn't intuitive. Maybe that day I wasn't tuned in and I was busy with my own stuff. And if they just would have asked me, I could have been there for them, but maybe they felt, ooh, I don't want to ask right now. But
right.
Learn to ask. And if people can't hold space for you, they'll let you know. They'll be like,
right.
Oh God, I wish I could help you, but I'm having a moment.
Right.
And that's okay to say too.
For sure.
If you're not really in a place to help someone, don't do it, because if you do, you'll get resentful, because you'll feel like, oh God, I was having a moment. Now I can't even have a moment because now they're having their moment. So if you're not in a place, if you're not there in that moment, it's okay to be like, oh my God, I want to so much help you. I'm not in that place today, but you know what? Let's regroup. Let's touch bases tomorrow. I really do care. I want to check back in with you, but I don't know that I can be that helpful right now.
Right.
So.
And I also feel like I just thought of one. A hug for me is a really good way to relieve stress. Like if I can just sit in a really safe hug, that can be something that relieves stress for me as well. What do you have any other ways that are stress relievers when you're super stressed out?
Sometimes, this is weird, but I need to just go lay down and take a nap. Sometimes when I get super, super overwhelmed, all of a sudden I'll get extremely exhausted. If I've been doing a lot of mental bandwidth is what I call it. Like if maybe I've been really intense at work and been writing a lot of reports, I've had intense phone calls because of work, I'll feel just like so tired. I'll go take like a 20-minute nap, and that does the trick. That does the trick. So for me, sometimes extreme stress will bring on a sleepy spell. So nap with a dog, and petting a dog, petting an animal, that reduces your blood pressure. That brings your cortisol levels down. Petting animals, cats, dogs. It's interesting.
My youngest dog can tell from upstairs if I'm having even a pang of anxiety, and she'll come down and she just lives right here on my shoulder and my chest, and she'll just sit there and snuggle me because she knows, because she's got little puppy anxiety too. Yeah. So we will sit and comfort each other and soothe each other because she can recognize when mom is having a rough time. Dogs
and cats are very in tune to their humans.
100%.
And like when we are under stress, our bodies actually put off a different scent. And dogs,
right, which is probably why she can tell.
Yeah, they can be across. That's why a lot of animals are trained to be like for diabetics and for people who have epilepsy and things like that. The animals can smell that in you, so they smell our stress. They get it. So yeah, if you go get dogs, get 6. That's how many we
were going to update you. So one of the things we were worried about with moving in together is integrating 6 dogs together, because Shelly has 3 male Chihuahuas and I have 3 female terrier mixes. And we were concerned about the power dynamics of how that was going to work.
Bunch of dogs.
They're doing great.
Yeah.
They're doing great. I am obsessed with little Chevy. Oh my gosh, he's my little muffin face.
He's a little blueberry muffin face.
God,
he's the smallest one with the biggest personality.
He's so cute. I can't handle our cute chef monsters.
So, dogs update, getting along fine. An interaction update, it's going pretty good.
Yeah.
We're having to talk a lot. which we figured would probably be part of the process.
Well, it's just learning. I mean, living with somebody is different than, and Shelley lived with Jeff and I before.
Yeah.
So we knew that she would integrate. Phil is the person who has not, and we're all just figuring that out. And I think it's going really well.
It is. He is literally, if you guys watch The Big Bang Theory, he really is British Sheldon Cooper. Phil is a lovely person. He's very kind. So he's not as like conceited as Sheldon Cooper is.
Well, Sheldon Cooper was kind of
and very
cold.
Yeah.
And Phil is not cold. He's very warm. He's very loving.
He isn't always aware. Phil has a hard time sometimes reading faces and body cues.
Mm-hmm.
So if you tell him you're fine and your body's, I'm fine, he doesn't read that. He thinks
he just takes the words at face value, hey?
Then you are fine. Yeah. So that is, and he couldn't read facial expressions until he was like a teenager. So he really has some things that are part of being on the spectrum. And him learning to integrate with new people is something that is hard for him. And he eventually figures it out. But this is part of being with people who, like, we're all on the spectrum to some degree, some of us more so than others. So being kind and patient and loving with each other is a big part of this. And luckily, we're all like that.
Yeah.
But we also know there's going to be good days and bad days. We just know we're humans.
Sure.
It's going to happen.
Okay. So we want to know, first of all, we want to know how you do stress relief. Mm-hmm. That would be probably more positive than saying things that stress you out. So let's talk about ways that you relieve stress. Leave that in the comments wherever you're watching this. I don't even know. Can we see comments even? We keep saying to leave comments, but we don't even. I don't know. Maybe on the YouTube.
Maybe because
we're on the YouTubes.
We'll have to look. You can watch us on YouTube. You can hear us anywhere you listen to podcasts. Not iPods.
Where you listen to iPods?
Are there even iPods anymore?
I don't know. Maybe so. So, Shelley, we always end with a couple rapid fire questions for each other. Would you like to go first, or would you like for me to?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I always like to do a food one because, food relieves stress. Another thing we don't do here is edit anything. So you're going to hear all our fuck-ups.
Yeah.
I want to know, Angie, what is your favorite topping for pizza?
Oh.
Wow.
I know. I went all in. I doubled down. Pineapple. You cannot put too much pineapple on a pizza for me. And that's fighting words for a lot of people, and I'm okay with it. Controversial answer.
Travesty, as my British husband would say. All right, I'm okay. Pineapple.
Okay, your first one. Favorite sandwich?
I like an Italian grinder. I want the salami, the pepperoni, the cheese, the green pepper, the onion, melty, toasty.
We should do that for dinner this week.
It sounds delightful.
Can we do some grinders?
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about living together is we get to cook together too. We're having steaks tonight.
So a grinder.
Okay, grinder. Your next question, please.
Okay. If you could, I always love this one. If you could paint in any medium or style, if you were a famous painter, what would that style be?
Has to be paint?
No, doesn't have to be. You can change it up.
In any style?
Mm-hmm. Like Impressionism.
I would do something that's geometric shapes. I've always been big fans of shapes.
Cubism.
Mm-hmm. Like sure. Something that's probably more abstract.
The shape, the balance.
Mm-hmm.
So more modern.
Yeah. I love anything with dots or squares or circles or.
Lovely.
Yeah. All of those things.
One of my favorite artists is Kandinsky. I believe Russian artist, but he did a lot of cubes and shapes and circles and balance. And I love that stuff. So I love
that. Yeah. That's great. Shelley. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh boy. What is the best? Well, if you could have a coloring book right now, if you're going to sit down to color for stress relief, what theme would you want it to be?
I like the ones that are for adults, the adult coloring books that have really pretty pictures with fancy swear words written over the top.
Did you know your husband gave me 2 coloring books this week?
Were they the adult ones?
Well, one was very adult. It was different
Goodness.
phallic shapes
Oh,
with
dear.
flowers and stuff. And the
Oh,
other one
dear.
was coffee related, which I very much appreciated. That's what made me think
I
of
like
coloring books.
adult coloring books. I think maybe we need to do that. Let's get that out. Let's
I need
break that out.
crayons.
We'll get crayons.
We'll
Maybe
get crayons
do-
today because we're
we'll
going
do
to the
that on
store.
one of our TikTok lives. We'll do that.
TikTok, we'll do some coloring. This has been another riveting episode of
So
Hot Flash
riveting.
Chronicles podcast. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscribe, give us a
And to
5-star
all of our
review.
now TikTok followers, thank you for following us on TikTok. We hope you're watching here. And if you're our podcast people, maybe try TikTok and see if you can find more people like us, people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, going through menopause. There are a lot of them out there. Who knows?
Amazing. And if you have any ideas for topics for episodes, we also welcome that.
Perfect.
Until next time, we bid you adieu, arrivederci, ciao,
Adieu.
ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
You're going to have to get up and hit the stop
I will.
on the computer. That was great. That was like 40 minutes.
Which one do I have?
Scroll over to the stop. See where the mouse is? It's not a touch screen. See where the, oh, no, other way. The stop, the big red. Nope, down.
Big red phone.
Left, to the left, to the left.
Leave studio?
Stop.
Oh, stop. That
Yeah.
shit. God damn it.
That's the one. Oh, downloading.
What the fuck did I do?
Got to left click on it. You're right clicking.
Why?
I don't know.
Stop this.
Close that. Top left. Are you not a Mac person?
No.
Oh God.
No, I'm not. I don't know the Mac at all.
To the rescue.
Hands to the rescue. I think that whole thing, if you're trying to explain to me how the fuck to do that, is classic gold right there. Oh, dictionary. What did you do over here? I don't know. Stop. That's a wrap on this episode. If you laughed, related, or just need more, hit subscribe.
Check out the show notes to find us on socials and YouTube and join our Patreon for exclusive extras.
And remember,
We're still hot,
Just in flashes.